This is the fourth video under the heading formation of a joint stock company. In the previous three videos, we had discussed promotion, incorporation, capital subscription, and commencement of business. Okay, so in this fourth video, we are going to start discussing the important documents. Okay, important documents used in the formation of company. The main documents required, there are many documents. We will be discussing the three main documents. The first one being Memorandum of Association, second one Article of Association, and third one Prospectus or Statement in lieu of Prospectus. The first one, Memorandum of Association. Now this is the most important document of any company, whether it is a private company or a public company. It is the most important document. We can call it as the charter or the constitution of the company. It defines the relation of the company with outsiders and the limitations and scope of the company beyond which it cannot work. So we can say that Memorandum of Association is the charter or constitution of the company. Okay, it defines the relation of the company with outsiders. Memorandum of Association defines the powers and objectives of the company as well as the scope of operation of the company beyond which it cannot act. If it is acting beyond that, then it will be considered illegal. Okay. Memorandum of Association is also known as the doctrine of outdoor management. Now, what are the contents of Memorandum of Association? First, name clause. From the name of this clause itself, it is clear that it deals with the name of the company. Situation or domicile clause, or we can call it as registered office clause. In this point, the company's registered office address is mentioned, the state's name is mentioned. Then come objects clause, objective. The main objective of the company for which it has been established, the secondary objectives, everything will be mentioned in the objects clause. Liability clause. Now you all have learned that in case of company, the liability of the members is limited. Okay, that is mentioned here. Then capital clause, the maximum amount which a company can raise by issuing shares. Okay, and then association or subscription clause. Now see, in the NCERT book, they have not mentioned it as a separate clause, but in Poonam Gandhi it has been mentioned. Okay, so following NCERT, we will say that there are 5 points and they have explained the association point, subscription of members, in a separate paragraph. You can also do like that. Okay. The first one, name clause. Now in this clause, the name of the company is stated. Okay, now the names should not be identical to the existing company. There are few points. Okay, certain restrictions are there on the choice or selecting the name of the company. The first one, the name should not be identical to a similar or similar to any existing company. Okay, it should not reflect the relation with that or already established company or something like that. The name should not mislead the public. Okay, like many times, no. Like Asian Paints is there. I also start a company with Asian colors. Then it will be misleading the people. Okay, so such things should not be done. The name should not include the word cooperative, because cooperative word is used by cooperative societies only. The company cannot use the word cooperative. In the same manner, the name of the company should not reflect that it is related to any government company or it is related to any government department. Okay, because government is having a lot of trust, and if we use that trust and cheat people using it as a name, then the government will impose certain punishments or penalties. Okay, the name of the company should end with the word limited, because the members of a joint stock company has limited liability. In case of public company, only the term word limited is used at the end, and in case of private companies, the term private limited will be used. Okay. Then registered office clause, or it can be called as situation clause or domicile clause. Now this point mentions about the state in which the registered office of the company will be situated. Okay, and then the district, the city where the office will be situated, everything will be mentioned. But changing, if the company wants to change its registered office from one state to another state, it is a very difficult process. But it can easily change the head office from one place to another place within the same city. Okay, that is not much difficult. The company has to mention this to the registrar of the companies, okay, within the 30 days of incorporation of company. Then comes with a objects clause, okay, objective clause. The objective for which the company has been established, the areas of business, what transaction it is going to do, okay, everything. The main objective should also be mentioned, and there will be other various other secondary objectives. Okay, now the objectives should not be unlawful, immoral, fraudulent, okay, opposed to public policies, and offending the Companies Act. Okay, the objective should be made keeping these points in mind. Then with a liability clause, as stated earlier, the members of the company, joint stock company, have limited liability. Now what is their liability? Limited liability. That liability is the unpaid portion of the amount of the shares subscribed by them. I have discussed one example, like a person have subscribed to 1000 shares of rupees 10 each, so he has to pay in total 10,000 rupees. Out of that, if he has paid rupees 8 on 1000 shares, it will be 8,000 rupees. Out of 10,000, he has paid 8,000 rupees, so the balance 2,000 rupees will be his liability. And once he pays that amount also, then he is not liable to pay anything to the company now. Okay, capital clause. Now in this clause, the company or the directors will mention the maximum amount which can be raised by issuing shares. It is known as authorized capital. It is also known as nominal capital or registered capital, because this amount is mentioned at the time of registration, so registered capital. Okay, beyond this, the company cannot raise capital. Okay, if it wants to raise more capital, then it will have to change this clause. Association or subscription clause. Now this point is not mentioned as a separate clause in NCRT, but they have explained this point in a separate paragraph, so I am taking it here as a separate clause. Association clause or subscription clause. The members who sign the Memorandum of Association have mentioned their intention to be associated with the company, and they have agreed to buy the shares, which are known as qualification shares. This is known as subscription clause or association clause. Okay, now the Memorandum of Association should be signed by at least 7 persons in case of a public company, and in case of a private company it is 2 persons. Okay.